So we have some breaking news to talk about before we deep dive into the video. The A's are getting Elvis, Andrus, and a couple other players for Khris Davis. The full trade, which to me is like, what the heck is happening? Elvis, Andrus, Aramis Garcia, and cash to the A's in exchange for Khris Davis, Jonah Heim, and right-handed pitcher Dane Aker. Khris Davis is no longer part of the A's, and like, this is just weird to me. Does anyone like this trade? Because what? This is my third time trying to record this video. My editing program keeps crashing. I'm about to throw this thing out the window. Between myself having to take down the Trevor Bauer interview, we'll talk about that in just a second because I was steaming, but it's all gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. And now my program just doing its own thing. I'm a little bit on edge, so we're gonna try and be positive today. Thank you all so much for stopping by and being understanding. A lot of people were sending me DMs like, yo, I was watching the Bauer interview and then it just vanished. Yeah, it doesn't exist any longer. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But before we do that, I want to talk about some breaking news. Marcell Ozuna is going back to Atlanta. So he was waiting to see if Nelson Cruz was going to sign with an American League team or to see if the Universal DH was going to come back to the National League. Well, ultimately, we know that the DH is not going to be universal. It is only going to be in the AL. As far as I can tell from all of the articles and the tweets that I've seen, it's not going to be a universal year. Maybe it comes back in 2022. We have no idea. But the one clip I do want to show right now, the last time that I remember Marcell Ozuna having to play defense, because again, he got a 4-year deal worth $65 million. If he goes 5 years, it's $80 million. He's going to have to play defense. Maybe he plays first base and gives Freddie Freeman a day off. I don't know. But this is the clip that I think of when Marcell Ozuna is out there in left field, even though he's won a Gold Glove. I just think of this.
And a fly ball. Deep left. Ozuna back scales the wall. And it drops. I think his cleat may have gotten caught.
Do not underestimate the Atlanta Braves. That lineup is still disgusting, and Christian Pache is going to be in there almost every single day as long as he's able to produce. Maybe Austin Riley is able to finally fulfill the potential that we think that he's going to be because he's a stud defender. He has 25 to 30 home run pop. If they can really get him and Pache going, along with the addition of Charlie Morton, I'm telling you, the Braves, they can compete with the Padres and the Dodgers pretty easily. They were one game away from the World Series after blowing a 3-1 lead. I feel so happy as an Indians fan that we're not the only team that blew a 3-1 lead. So Marcell Ozuna is going back to the Braves. Jonathan Schoop is re-signing with his team as well, going back to the Tigers for $4.5 million. Schoop has been one of the more underrated hitters in baseball since his time with the Orioles. He's not the best defender. He's not very quick. I will give you that. But offensively, as a second baseman, you can't really find too many guys that are as skilled. He can have a 900 OPS. He can have a 750 OPS. So he's kind of a medium risk, medium reward kind of guy. So to be honest with you, considering all of the other teams that are not spending money, I just have to tip my cap to the Tigers because they've signed a few guys. Look at this graphic right now. Trevor Bauer is almost making as much as 3 separate franchises that are on the screen right now. Did you know that the 2021 Dodgers payroll is going to be $240 million? So one thing I want to say is that there has to be a salary floor, not a salary cap where you spend, and you can't go past that. I'm saying Robert Manfred and the rest of the owners have to swallow their pride and come up with an agreement that you have to spend at least this certain amount of money in order to be involved within our great game. Because the fact that the Pirates, I don't remember exactly who's on the graphic, but a team is spending like $53 million collectively. That is embarrassing. Do you not respect your fans? Do you not have dignity? You're really going to say that you can get away with spending that much money and be competitive? There should be a $50 million, maybe even a $75 million salary floor and just go from there. Maybe a lot of owners complain. Just tell them to suck it up. They're billionaires. I'm kind of getting sick of the old heads at Major League Baseball. Don't get me wrong. I love MLB. They have changed my life. Some of the greatest people I've ever met work with them, but the older guys, they just don't understand the vision. They don't understand that at an interview with Trevor Bauer and Fuzzy is not going to harm the Dodgers in any way, shape, or form. Just because I made a video with my friend and maybe the deal is not official, so that's really all that I can say is that Bauer and that interview had to be taken down because the deal is not official yet and they want some clips as well and they're scared of little old Fuzzy and Draftnik Mark. That's just me being salty. It's really not that deep. I'm gonna post the video later and I would really appreciate that you guys watch it a second time because I'm afraid it's gonna be a dead video. But can we please correct baseball and the way that it's trending, because I was super excited yesterday, then I had to take down the video, then I had to see this graphic that these embarrassment of a franchises are not spending money and they're just spitting in your face. We should have a salary floor and just go from there. So sorry, I had to rant a little bit because the integrity of baseball is being it's being messed with. So because the Mets missed out on Trevor Bauer, I thought that he was going to sign with them as well. I would say, cut Trevor Bauer some slack. I don't think he was necessarily trolling. It just panned out in a way where we'll talk about it later on. Now, to recover from missing out on Trevor Bauer, I think the Mets can actually produce at a fairly high level without him and also add Jake Odorizzi. Jake Odorizzi is going to be so much cheaper and he should be the #1 priority because the last time that we saw him pitch in a full season was 2019 with the Twins. He had a breakout year with a 10.1 strikeouts per 9, a 3.51 ERA, and a 3.36 FIP. That is elite stuff in my opinion, and if the Mets can get him at $7 million, $10 million, they can now go out and get relief pitchers. They can save it for 2021. They really have unlimited options. But aside from that, Trevor Bauer has signed, Marcell Ozuna has signed, Jonathan Scope is back to the Tigers. The only really big names left, Justin Turner and Trevor Rosenthal. In my opinion, the only places that Justin Turner can go is back to the Dodgers or to the New York Mets. So maybe the Mets had to miss out on Bauer to pick up an offensive force in Justin Turner. And to me, Trevor Rosenthal, I think that he would be amazing back in San Diego. So to me, all of the names have pretty much been decided. Aside from Justin Turner, that is the one big question mark left. Everyone else has found a home. Now, one thing that I want to do to end today's video, because I've been a little bit nitpicky, I've been a little bit negative, I want to end it on a funny note. So we all know that the Arenado to the Cardinals trade was made official a few days ago, and the Cardinals Twitter account put out a tweet that Arenado and Dexter Fowler were reunited at last. They were playing together in the Rockies, and then all of a sudden it fell through. Dexter Fowler went to the Cardinals, and then that's all she wrote. Did he go to a different team? Wasn't he with the Cubs, and then it was the Cardinals? I can't remember the exact timeline, but about 15 seconds later, Dexter Fowler went from being reunited to Arenado to heading to LA because the Angels traded for him. So one of the best timed tweets I've ever seen. It was ironic to a T. They're reunited. Just kidding. He's got to pack his bags and go join Mike Trout in the outfield, even though to me Dexter Fowler is a little older and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to produce even a 750 OPS. But that does it for today's video. Thank you all so much for understanding. I am so sorry that I had to take down that Bauer interview. To me, it was one of my favorite videos on the channel. We talked about baseball, we talked about Star Wars, just me making a video with my friend, but of course, there were some circumstances behind the scenes that were kind of out of both of our control. There's not really any one person to be mad at, but it will be on the channel sometime soon. I would really appreciate you sharing it with all your friends. Let's blow it up and show the world that YouTubers, we're here and we deserve some respect, and it's kind of annoying not to get it. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out.